All right. Shalom, shalom, everybody. I'm your Bruban Shemayim. That's me, back with another one. The water, which means thank you for everybody for tuning in. I just want to say, whether you like the video or not, hit that subscribe button, or hit the like button. If you do like the video, hit the subscribe button. Do that early, and don't forget to hop in the comments. Let's discuss this. I know I've been lacking on the comments, but my aunt was in town and my back has been tripping, and so I haven't been getting into I've been getting into the comments. I just haven't been responding as much, and like I tried to respond to everybody previously unless I missed them because I would take a couple of days off from YouTube work. Cause like I be laying in the bed, looking at comments and responding and stuff during the week. So I call that YouTube work. Not saying sitting in this chair all week. But yeah, so hop in the comments. Let's talk about this one, man. So today's video we are going over let's get it. We are gonna be going over what's going on with the kids, man. What's going on in the world? Now I'm not gonna play this, but you could play it. It's from Good Morning America, so I'm gonna give it to you. It said investigation into sex abuse in Illinois Catholic Church. Right now, I found out it says the findings from Illinois Attorney General found nearly 2,000 children across the state were abused by 551 priests and in lay religious brothers. But it's pretty much saying in their religious brothers, right? And then the comments is like, what the Catholic Church did was unconceivable. But we kind of knew this been going on. And first off, these cases that they're talking about are back in the day. They're not catching like the cases that's happening right now. It's not like 2,000 or 451 pastors are being locked up that are in the Catholic churches right now. A lot of these cases are old and past the statute of limitation. It talks about that in the article. The brother right here, he talks about it, right? He talks about it in the article, and he talks about how like it's past the statute of limitation, so there's no charges, but it's kind of like it's to bring peace to the victims, which is crazy. And the person said this was unconceivable. It shouldn't be, right? It says there should never be a statute of limitations in California or what would that be? SA. What is SA? Is that the state? I'm sure California. I'm stupid. I'm acting. I'm having a mind bleed. Trying to think of what state starts with an SA. I don't know. Y'all tell me. But any states, there should be statutes of limitations. But for these type of things, for religious organizations that are in like school districts and things like that, you should be held to a higher standard. So if there are statutes of limitations on the basic uh, person, because you can't get away from God anyways. But if there's statutes of limitations on the basic person, that's one thing. But there shouldn't be a statutes of limitations on people who work for organizations that directly deal with kids and things, right? So stop taking your kids to these predators and doing it in the name of God. It's pure evil. So I'm just going through the comments on this one, y'all. It says racketeering, influence, and corruption charges should be filed against the church. All crimes that were not reported and hidden would toll the statute of limitations. Right, and that's what's so crazy. So all the ones that's reported and not hidden are all under the statutes of limitation. That's crazy. The assets should be seized and paid to the victims. It says they made great progress because 330 of the predators died and the statute of limitations has passed. What a slap in the face, right? So 330 of the people that out of the 400 and whatever people were reported for doing this are already dead, and all the rest of the people, statutes of limitations is passed. It says, parents, if you love your children, please don't leave them alone in these corrupt institutions. These criminal sex abuse has been there from the beginning and it's not going to end. Worship God on your own. You do not need a church or priests or nuns to be in touch with God. And that's true, but some people you do feel closer when people are around, and some people need other people to help them uh go through their times. It takes a village. The church, just because the churches in some of the camps and different things like that might not be 100% correct, the idea of what they were, or not the idea of what they're trying to do, because some of these churches are corrupt, but the idea behind it is actually biblical. We should come together. Like, you gotta think the disciples created the first churches in the Bible, and these were churches who believed in Christ, or now we would call them camps of Hebrews. And then Paul came and he started teaching Gentiles and creating churches and bodies of Gentiles. And the idea was to help each other, not to abuse each other. There were strict rules against that. We had the law for those things, right? Any religion whose primary tenet seems to be thou shalt violate our most vulnerable should lose its status as a religion. Just call it what it is. Well-financed grooming, trafficking is it publicly as such, right? But the truth of the matter is, Catholic Church is the mother of all Christianity. All Christianity comes from, all modern day Christianity comes from the Catholic Church, right? Let's read a couple more comments and we'll go to the next video. It says, we've all known this our whole lives. Finally, these children can get justice. They're not children no more. They're adults. And how is this justice when nobody gets punished? No institutions is shut down. Nothing happens, right? It says, how disgusting. What the hell is wrong with the Catholic Church? Their priests and brothers. It's sickening. When your children are safe at church and religious activities, I'm so ashamed to be an Illinoisian right now. We've had most governors go to prison, and now this. I don't care about the statutes of limitation. There shouldn't be one for molesting a child. Every single remaining priest/brother should be in prison and the key thrown away. This is Truth Illinois. It says, keep in mind that all of these cases go back around about 50 years or so. There are more than likely hundreds of victims, and who knows exactly how many would never be brought out because of the church's refusal to do anything about it. Bernardine and George covered things up, so how can anyone trust Kopich? I, for one, don't. This is the reason I am no longer a Catholic and don't practice faith anymore. It says, still crazy to me that there were 1,800 accusations, more than 700 guilty verdicts, and among the faulty of Chicago public schools in 22 alone. And that's crazy because it's not talking about in 2022. This is talking about the previous years, where these people have been found guilty, I guess. But like I say, it's still past the statute of limitation, and most of them are dead. It's not talking about the current years. So this next video is from Portia Poochie Annie Mallory. I read the comments on this. We'll go into the comments a little later, but we're gonna hop into it. Some people say this was faked. I guess the only person who got in trouble or arrested was the kid's mother. But I heard a man in the background too. So it sounded like I mean, this is just from reading the comments because I wasn't able to find any information about this case. I'm assuming it's old. But they said the kids were coerced to saying this. So I just want to put this out at first. Free use. I don't want them to shut my page down on saying this is falsified information. I'm just showing you the video. And then at the end, I'll talk about my opinions, right? Let's get it.
And then your fear will be gone.
But you feel a bit of fear? Why do you feel a bit of fear? Tell Mama, look at the camera.
I feel a bit of fear because it's really dangerous and I ate
Look at me.
And I ate babies and I ate babies before and I feel really weak about it, really weak. I'm not strong. when I eat hemp, I feel really strong.
Go the camera.
I feel when I eat hemp, I feel really strong. Really.
When you eat hemp?
Yes, and feel really powerful. But when I eat meat, I feel really, really
That's
weak.
right.
And
Go the camera.
when I
Say what you
eat,
said to
when
the
I the first time when we ever done it with Papa, the first time when we little done it, we had feared so much.
When you did what?
When we killed a baby, first time. And
You
we knew
killed the
about it.
babies?
Yes.
You
With-
yourself?
With Papa. Papa
Pap-
holding my hand. He helped me. But he told me to cut the baby's head off. But he forced me to. I couldn't.
He held your
so
hands?
He held my hand. Yes.
Like what? Show me.
So this is my hand on the knife. He put his big hand on and he pushed my hand and then cut off the head. Like that. And then when we got older,
Free use. Free use. Like I say, it's a lot going on. They say teachers, police, pastors, the church, the little girl inside of their daddy. A lot of different things is going on here. So let's keep going.
we got you more used to it. But then we understood. When my mom found out about it, she understood. She told me that it's wrong to do this kind of stuff. So then but then me and Gabriel had still been used to it. But then we had understood that it's wrong.
And so, what your decision
And
is?
in our decision, we had still a lot of fear in our head. But then when we read a book called June, it said that fear is the mind killer. So when we heard that, we thought that it was true. It was not really true. But then after, there was a man called Abraham who came to help us. He said that it is true, that fear is the mind killer. And then after he said we had to face our fear. So then after we faced our fear,
Look in the camera. The camera is here.
and then we after,
Camera is here. This
and
one.
then after we faced our fear.
So, what's you decided?
And
Come here, Gabriel.
And we decided that we should stop. Or then we should
Come,
stop
Gabriel, come
killing
closer to
babies,
Alice.
and we should stop doing sex, or it's just going to be pointless, and it's just going to have to be going to jail and just go back.
So, what we're gonna do? We're gonna protect other babies and
then we-
children, huh?
And when we faced
And
and
save
when
those children who are involved, or who've been forced to be involved, right?
Yes, yes. And when you face and James was in it. When you face the fear, you get less fear on you. That doesn't have money and they got a baby. They something.
Now, supposedly there's a longer video about this. And like I said, the story is from what some people say they believe it. I'll go into what I think, my opinion, at the end of the video. Other people say they don't believe it. Other people say, I guess the story behind it is nobody else got investigated or in trouble. The story is that only the parents' mother got in trouble, and they say that she was abusive to them and coerced them to say this, trying to. So I'll let you know my opinion, and hopefully y'all drop your opinions in the comments, and we'll probably talk about this on one of the live streams too. So let's keep going.
They eat it, do sex
How do
first.
they eat the baby?
They cut,
Alive? Is the baby alive?
no, they inject it to make it go to sleep.
And
then after, Papa tells us to hold the knife, and then he puts his big hand on. He pushes it into the neck, cuts it, and after, but when it's upside down, so it's like he goes like
So how
that.
do the babies become upside down?
So you get a string, hang it up, and it's upside down when it's asleep. Well,
Hang the baby upside down after they inject it.
yes. Miss Martin, the nurse, she injects.
Margaret, who is Miss Margaret?
Miss Martin is a nurse of our school. She does the injecting. She pretends to be kind to my mom and tries to be kind. And then after she injects. She's a nurse, so she pretends to be kind to mom. And so if I hurt myself. A church, our own big church, and we use it for sex, eating baby, drinking baby's blood. We sacrifice the baby, we do sex to the babies, we throw when we're dancing with the skulls after the babies are
What
dead.
skulls? What skulls?
The baby skulls,
From before.
Yeah, from before. We put it on.
Where did the baby skulls come from?
They come from the baby.
How would you get them from the baby?
We cut the baby's head off. Then we clear all the meat from the skulls, and then we put all the meat and cook it. Sometimes we roast it. Sometimes we roast it in the oven. Sometimes we cook it on a frying pan.
You told me there's some restaurants.
Yeah, and there's some restaurants, and McDonald's in Hampstead, and East Finchley. And East Finchley is a swimming pool, and in East Finchley there's a swimming pool, and the whole East Finchley does it. The boss does it. Everybody does it.
That's what?
The sex social services. Everybody does. All of them.
Who?
Everybody.
Does your mother do it?
No.
Do I do it?
No.
Who does it then?
Papa, Mr. Holding, the school.
Who?
Parents.
My dad's
Tell me more
family.
people. Tell me some more people, please. I'm interested.
Parents, police.
What about the teachers at school? Who's the main one?
Papa, Mr. Holdings, Mrs. Forsyth.
Who's Mrs. Forsdyke?
She's the head teacher of our school.
And what does she do?
And she does sex. She got a big red mark with a big tattoo on her pride.
And what happens in the church?
And we do baby sacrifice and eat the baby.
What do you mean sacrifice and eat the baby?
So we kill the baby and eat it and drink the blood from it.
Is that true, Gabriel?
Yes. And we dance with the skulls.
You what?
We dance with the skulls in the church.
What skulls?
Skulls of the baby.
Pardon?
Baby skulls. The skulls of the baby.
You dance with the baby skulls.
Yes.
And who kills the baby?
Papa, me, Elisa. And so
Who kills the babies?
Papa.
And what? He gets you to help him?
Yes.
Shoot.
So he tells us to hold the hand on the knife, and then he holds his hand on our hand. So then he cuts the baby's head off. And then he puts it upside down, and then we drain the blood.
And then what they do?
And then we cook it, and then we drink the blood, and then after we go and dance.
He says that he put his hand over their hand, cut the baby head off while it's hanging, and they drink the blood, eat the meat of the head, and dance around with the skulls. And they say they do this at church, and the school teacher is one of the head school teachers is one of the people there. So this is crazy, y'all. Now let's go read some of this stuff. It says the comment says, I went on Google Earth some years ago and found this school they are mentioning in the longer interviews. The school was gone, the area fenced, it looked like it had been digged deep. I have known this story for years and still can't believe this town is not going completely mad, or even that the whole world don't go completely mad. This is so insane. This is Linda Roos. Says, I was a counselor for death row, pedophiles, rapists, and more for 6 years. I read jackets that would make your hair stand on ends. Just remember, only 10% of criminals ever make it to prison. That means 90% are still roaming around. I'm sure they think that because they like, look, it's too many black people. No offense. Man, that's horrible. Because I remember these kids who obviously been through something very traumatic, protect the children. God told me about McDonald's. That one I can confirm to be true. I don't know about that, but maybe so. I don't be eating McDonald's like that. It's crazy how Facebook is fact checking this, like they have proof that it isn't true, but allow the government to push propaganda and allow their BS agenda. Yeah, because like you had to, when I had to press the button in order to watch the video, it was because they're saying they're fact checking it and saying that this is fake, right? This interview was very weird. The energy of the woman was weird, forcing the children to look into the camera. But at the same time, that wasn't their mom who was doing that, right? It says, even if they were coached or lied, they are still grossly abused, because teaching kids these things is abuse in itself. So I believe that's why their mom got in trouble, because they charged her with the abuse. But I mean, if the whole city was covering it up and the police was involved, don't you think that they would have just put it off on the mom. I mean, think about how many times people get shot and murdered by the police. Unless there's some extra videotape or, some proof that the police did something wrong, they typically get away with it, right? It says, I have seen this so many times and it never gets easier. I'll pass on this one. What's so interesting or sad is how detached and used to these things they are. It says, if you think these kids are lying, then you are part of the problem. Yep, I said that. They were, like I say, they were real on par. They were finishing each other's sentences. It says, the Hampstead cover up. So sad. So this is sad. Look, even if it is some Edomite little children, like some Edomites, I don't care who it is. This is wrong. It should never be done to children. Rather, it's not real and they lied about it, or rather this is real. This should never be done to little kids. Uh, this is actually super sad and it could be real, and we're gonna get into the evidence of that now. So we're going into Second Kings, right? And it says we're gonna go to Second Kings 21. We're gonna start at 4, right? Or we'll start at 3. For he built up again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed, and he reared up altars for Baal, right? So this is Baal, right? Satan, the evil one, a false god, right? And made a grove, as did Ahab, king of Israel, and worshiped all the host of heaven, right? And served them. And he built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord said in Jerusalem, I will put my name, right? And he built altars for all the hosts of heaven in 2 courts of all the house of the Lord, right? So he built all these altars in God's holy places, right? And he made his sons pass through the fire and observed times and used enchantments and dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. He wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. He set a graven image of the grove that he made in the house, of which the Lord said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever. Right? It says, neither will I make thy feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers, only if they will observe and do to all the things I have commanded them, in according to the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they hearkened not, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom the Lord destroyed before the children of Israel. So they started following the ways of the Canaanites, right? And let's get more into it. It says, this is Deuteronomy 18, and we're going to start at 9. It says, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or daughter pass through the fire. This is to kill him, right? Or that uses divinations, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a counselor, or familiar spirits, or wizards, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. Now, necromancer is a person who uses witchcraft or sorcery to revive the dead, right? At least in modern day. This is darash, to resort or to seek, right? What is a familiar spirit? A necromancer, right? So thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God, for these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observers of times and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Lord thy God has not suffered thee to do so. So that means they hearkened to peace who said that their God, the people who said, these priests and different people said that their God needed a sacrifice or human blood from a child, right? In order to give them rain, or in order to do these things, they did these spells or sorceries in order to get things done on the earth, right? Now let's go into this. This is Leviticus 20. And it says, the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, again, thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel. So he's like, all these people that's with you, let them know this. That giveth any of his seed to Moloch, he shall surely be put to death. And of the land shall, it says, and the people of the land shall stone him with stones. And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given up his seed unto Moloch, to defile my sanctuary, to profane my holy name. Right? And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man which giveth his seed unto Moloch, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that will go whoring after him, and commit whoredom with Moloch from among their people. Right? It says, and the soul that turneth after such have familiar spirits after wizards, to go whoring after them. And I will even set my face against that soul, and I will cut him off from being among his people. Sanctify yourselves, therefore be ye holy, for I am the Lord your God, and ye shall keep my statutes and to do them. I am the Lord which sanctify you. Right? So this disobedience, this punishment that was coming, because he gave his seed, his children, he gave his children, like I said previously, setting their children against the flame. They were sacrificing people for Moloch, which is what Canaanites and other nations did for their gods. So would this be that far-fetched on Facebook? No, it would not. What do I personally believe? Most likely those kids was telling the truth. Most likely they witnessed some crazy stuff. I highly doubt they were programmed to say that. If they were programmed to say that, they actually could have said that a little better. People forget, like they have kids who play on talk shows and on sitcoms and different TV shows that come on. If you're being forced to rehearse something and to get something perfect, they could have actually been like perfect and told a way more detailed, intrinsic story. But they sounded like little kids describing an experience. So that's my opinion. Like I said, you got some people saying that it's not true, like Facebook, because they doing the fact check. They got the blocked out before you could watch it. So I'm not going to say in this video that it is, but to be honest, in my opinion, it seems to be true. I would like to know what your opinions is. Drop it in the comments and let's talk about this. Without further ado, I just want to say Thawada, which means thank you for tuning in. Kaulau Haya by Shimya Shaya, Wawawat Kwadash, which is all praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, in the Holy Spirit, right? And on that note, I just want to say Barakatah, which is peace. It's not peace, it's peaceful greetings, but that's a blessful. It's blessings, and Shalom is peaceful greetings, right? So Barakatah, which is bless you, and Shalom, which is peaceful greetings. So peace out. And I forgot to say my Cash App name at the top of the screen, $ Bon Shemayim 7 if you want to donate. Thanks to everybody who has donated before. I think I've had 2 people donate. So thank both of you who have donated. And on that note, one of them said he wanted to remain anonymous. On that note, I just want to say Shalom, which is peace, and Barakatah, which is bless you. And until the next time, peace out.